Hi, I'm Robert Kurtzman.
At first, I thought they'd handed me the wrong dossier. I couldn't believe they wanted this man on my channel. For more than 3 decades, Robert Kurtzman has been an icon in the world of special, makeup, creature effects, and genre filmmaking. His award-winning photorealistic effects work can be seen in hundreds of movies, including Hollywood's biggest blockbusters, franchises, and television series. About 1,000 awards, etc., etc. I'd heard his voice on the tape, and it really put the hook in me. But I couldn't connect that voice with this man. Like they said, he had an impressive career. Maybe too impressive.
Oh, there we go. Now, unfortunately, I got confused with Kurtz and Kurtzman, but yes, Robert Kurtzman, the legend, is here with the lovely Marcy. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks.
No, this is wonderful to have the piano guy from Wishmaster on the channel.
Except that head has hair on it. So
True.
this one does not.
So you can't use that prop
That's
anymore.
the giveaway.
Good giveaway.
That looked painful, but yeah.
I also have a much darker beard back then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's very light now. Yeah. And that also is your old company.
What?
So Creature Core.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yes, I just put a spin on it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's a great reel no matter what. That's what
Well, yeah, it's got a lot of great effects, but yeah. So, we're here to start off with talking about your new film, or the effects side of it, Marshmallow, which comes out next month, I believe.
April 11th.
And where will that be?
Well, in theaters.
It is in theaters in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah,
yes.
domestic probably to start.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what it's outside of here. It's domestic, and then in May is VOD,
I think.
and
Okay.
sometime in the end of May or something. So so yeah, excited.
Premiering at Panic Fest at the end of the month, which is super cool. We've got a lot of crew and cast coming in for that.
Oh,
That'll be
nice.
awesome.
Didn't they just announce the UK one too?
I think they did.
Yeah, a festival, a UK festival.
A UK festival is
they
going to
just
feature
announced
it.
it, so.
Yeah.
Excellent. 'cause I-
Literally just like today or yesterday. I don't know. We were traveling Monday and it was kind of a unglamorous 16-hour trip, not to the UK or anything exciting.
Yeah. Literally a 16-hour
Just-
domestic trip.
just-
It was like,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, it was a
But-
long day.
Oh dear. But yes, so the UK indeed. So we'll look out for that. I'll advertise that when it comes out, wherever it's going to be, because I watched it. Was it last night? Because I was kind enough to get a screener and thoroughly enjoyed it.
Awesome. No, good to hear.
Yes, but I can't talk about it.
It's like trying to talk about, and it's not the same at all, but I See Dead People, you can't talk about it and not give away spoilers. This this one, halfway through, you're like, wait a minute, what's this about?
Yes,
And 'cause there's a twist, and it's
I
cool.
won't tell. But it's when did you work on it? Last summer or autumn?
Two
23, summer of 23.
3.
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, I guess the strike
I think
affected
May
it.
to
I think,
June.
I think we started it right before the strikes hit,
Yeah.
or right around
Yeah,
that
May,
time. So
June.
yeah, and then
March,
so yeah,
April.
it was a project we got in basically before the strikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cool part is that we had something that we were working on, and it kind of went away, as things
Well,
do.
mm.
And we were only supposed to do 3 days on Marshmallow. So I called the powers that be and said, hey, do you have anyone yet for the whole run of the show? And they're like, no. And they said, we're available. And they said, we don't have the money. And I said, well, what do you have? We'll figure it out. And we did. And we ended up doing hair, makeup, and makeup effects.
Yeah,
so.
we ran the whole thing, department. But part of it was too the reason, we were very excited about being involved with it was Danny Del Purgatorio, the director. We had done
shorts,
a bunch of short films with him, plus some commercial campaigns he did for various things. And so it was his first feature, and it was exciting to be on and involved with him through, that evolution.
Yeah.
But also Warner Davis, who produced the film, was producer on several movies we've done in the past, including Black Friday and Funhouse Massacre.
Right.
So that was like, a bonus getting to do another feature with them. So.
Yeah, because I can't even talk about what you did really on the the film, can we? Without giving things away, but
it's really fun because this one again, halfway through, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I think it is, and so we do have some effects gags that were great. There is a fight that's pretty brutal. There's some other things, anatomical things that we played with, and
there's some things you don't even realize that were stuff that we handled.
Right.
But for the most part, it was. It's not like a monster movie, and that's in a sense of that. It's more of more of a. I don't know. It's got some sci-fi elements and.
Psychological and
so
but
we got to work with an amazing cast on it, and that was great. The kids were amazing.
It's obviously it's camp counselors who are not older people, they're 20 somethings, and the kids that are tweens and teens. Huge amount of new people. There's, of course, older people. There's adults in the film. Corbin Burnson, who we worked with on The Curse Showtime movie with Emily.
Showtime series,
Showtime series.
I don't know if you've seen that over there on Showtime.
Emily and Nathan Felder.
Nathan Felder series and Emily Stone. It's we worked with Corbin on that. I don't know if actually at this point we probably.
I think we can probably say it a little bit.
We made micro penises for him and Nathan Felder.
On
the show.
So
and, it of course has comedic elements to the show.
Gosh.
So it was kind of funny when he got hired on this and he showed up on set. We were like, "Hey, remember us?"
Of course he did.
The micro penises,
and luckily we've seen him in a couple of conventions as well, which is fun to hang out outside of that. Also Paul Sodar from Super Troopers. He was incredible. It's really you think Georgia, sometimes when it's a comedic kind of thing that maybe they're just uber goofy or you just don't know. He's such a pro. He was so great. He was so great. Yeah. Georgia Wiggum. The TED series on Hulu.
Yep.
And then some great new people. Pearson Faudet.
Pearson was great. There's so many. Everybody was great. The kids though were really great.
12 to 14. Hugh Lawrence, who's our lead boy on the poster. Hugh is incredibly professional, and he definitely seems to be in touch with some really good stuff for him to emote that. It's so great. Kai, his counterpart, she's excellent and a sweetheart. Let's see, who else? It's hard.
It's a long list.
It was 2 years ago, so I think I should have printed a list.
They've all grown up since. Because the kids, I was worried that they might be annoying, but none of them are, and they're all great. You don't hate any of them, and even the counselors, they're great as well.
Yeah. No, and
kill this prick.
I think one of the things that that we've talked about is that it has all the right elements. Like, you know, you have the kids and there's bullying going on, and you have the counselors and there's probably backroom partying and some other stuff going on, you know.
Right.
So it's like
what you expect out of
camp
summer
movie,
camp.
camp movie, camp movie.
Yeah.
And then of course there's the scary story that talks about the image that's in the poster, and then it takes a twist, and you're just like, what is happening? So
it's like, yeah, for me, like it's meatballs meets.
Yes.
Yeah, I could say it, but I think
but then
you've given too much away. Yeah. But yeah, we had a great time working on it. I mean, everybody just was, and it's funny because, you know, I honest to God can't say that about every single show or movie, but when it does happen, like I like gush about it because it's great. It really was. We were a great little family. I mean, that got formed during that show.
It was a stressful show only because it was very, you know, tight schedule and small budget and whatever. But the crew that we had worked with some of the crew before on Black Friday and
of course,
Funhouse Massacre, the DP and everybody. But it was like that small family, and we were shooting kind of on one location for the entire shoot,
almost all,
and very close to it, so we didn't you know have far to go, you know, every night. So it was that was great, and it was stressful, you know, as every movie is, but not like we were enjoying it. Everybody was enjoying it. We're enjoying the environment. That was the big thing, because the environment was beautiful. The camp was beautiful. It was, you know, so, and it wasn't like we were dealing with snakes in the swamp.
We weren't.
Rattles or you know, mosquitoes or anything like that. It was really nice. So
so it was filmed at a real camp, I guess.
It was.
Yeah, it was a camp, but it wasn't a functioning camp. It was a camp that was turned into like a park,
like a city park,
like where people could walk through, and they rented it out for various, you know, occasions. People would want to use the gazebos or whatever, picnics and family get-togethers or whatever.
And the cabins were still there, and they were still in pretty good condition, and there were bathrooms and showers that were horrendous condition.
Yeah,
but the main facilities were great, and they rented it out. I think there was a wedding reception on
there was
Sunday,
a weekend where we couldn't go,
and every person that had anything in there had to get everything out on Saturday night. And load it back in on Monday. That was probably only our, you know, and guess what? It didn't involve us, so we didn't. It was a lot of costumes that she had like half of the building, and so that was that's kind of a bummer, but we all got through it, and it's just we love it. We love the results. It's a fun movie.
Just did the kids like having the makeup and stuff applied to them?
That was crazy.
Yes,
I loved it.
First of all, you know, we work as a team. Bob is uber creative and loves the characters, and creating new characters and things. And I love the gore stuff. And that was my favorite part. Was, you know, there was a scene that we shot on the first day, and it's towards the end of the movie. But I can say that I used so much blood. It was just incredible. And our actress, which I won't say which one, had such a great time. And I have a really great picture with the director and the actress and myself with, you know, she was doused. So it was great. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. I prefer to stay away from the spattering blood. But
I love it.
I've been doing it for so long. I'd rather not get bloody.
Yeah, you're used to it. Yeah. I was going to ask you, what's a recipe people can use at home for blood?
Well, it's a variation on the Dick Smith
formula. Yeah.
So everybody changes it up, but it's you know, basically that's the idea.
Yeah.
And things change over the years. The color, the dyes change, you know, and sometimes you may change and not use corn syrup and may use something different.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but it's basically that's
basically
the
the
idea.
same recipe. Yeah.
Does it? I guess it gets sticky and dries up, but does it stain the skin and stuff like that?
So it just depends on how your formula works. Our formula works really well. So,
but I'll also give Josh a plug.
And yes, and Josh Turry,
our friend Josh Turry,
he has a formula.
It's called No Trace Blood, so it washes out really well.
Yeah.
And he won't tell me what he uses as the base. So it's like,
and that's fine. That's fine because ours is really well. But I mean, you have to be super careful when you do create it because you don't want it too liquidy, and you also don't want it too thick. And the color and consistency. I mean,
the big thing is it's no matter what, it used to have what's called photo flow in it, which is a chemical used for photo processing. And it's kind of not easy to get anymore because they don't do a lot of it. Basically, it's a soap. And so replacing that, now we use a clear dishwashing soap like Dawn, a clear Dawn. And that's what you put in, and you got to eyeball. You know how much you put in so that it doesn't bubble up too much if you're pumping it, but at the same time, that's what helps it wash off.
Right.
Okay.
So and it keeps it from beating up on fabric. It helps it from beating.
And also on the skin and prosthetics as well. Like you have there's just a fine line because if I can't stand anything is watching a show and seeing blood on someone and then it just separates and beads and you're like that's not what blood does. So
nice, because I could watch anything on a film, but seeing like a documentary or real life operation, that's it, I'm out. Are you the same way?
No,
I'm
the same way.
I love it.
If I drive up on an accident, somebody's head smashed in their car, I'm like gagging, like I get sick.
And I'm getting out to put apply pressure. Yeah. No, that probably the best time that I've had on set was on Haunting of Hill House and working with an actual mortician and getting to do an autopsy body and just pulling all those things together and getting it for the artist for sculpting and painting and oh my God, I was in my element. I made sure that the stitching was accurate and correct. The material that was used. And I think the best compliment we got was when the mortician who was on set, but also she plays the mortician's assistant in the film, in the show. Brittany came in and I said, well, what do you think? And I took and removed the top part of the head and flipped over the skin and took the cranial cap off and showed her the interior. And she said, that is so awesome. And I only know that it's not real because there's no smell. And I said, awesome. Then everybody did their job. So it was great. Yeah. So, I love that stuff.
Yeah. Count me out of anything real. But then it's because I was going to say the blood in the 70s that was like orange for some reason. Is there a reason?
Well, I don't know who made that in the 70s, but we always called it poster blood. It looked like poster
paint.
Like Dawn of the Dead, even that kind of blood.
Yeah.
And Tom even says something about that at one point. But it's a weird thing because people like Quentin reference that. So like when you're doing a movie with Quentin, he's like, make it somewhere between the 70s poster blood and this. So it's got to be a little brighter and a little weird, you know what I mean? So
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Well,
yes, I was going to mention.
No, for like Kill Bill or whatever. It's like he always had like 3 different colors he wanted in blood. So
they blast so and so's head in the back seat.
Yeah,
that's
it was never as
different.
It was never as red as the 70s blood.
Right.
But he always referenced it. I kind of like that, but not quite. So whatever.
Well, yes, I was gonna ask you what you did on paint.
Oh, nice. So Pulp Fiction. Awesome.
Collected edition must be worth at least $1.
Oh, is that the VHS?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
From over there?
He's got several. Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We'll see some more in a minute. But let's have a look at what about Vanilla Sky? You're credited.
Oh my gosh.
Vanilla Sky.
So We did a
So
convention
funny.
over the weekend. V. Neal's Vampire Weekend is the first time they had it in LA and Burbank. And someone brought a Vanilla Sky poster for the first time.
No, it's occasionally.
I've never seen it in
have
10 years. I'm just saying, but yeah, brought Vanilla Sky for signing. That was pretty cool. That doesn't, yeah. It's different.
Yeah,
Nothing usual.
Did you do the mask or his disfigurement?
Yeah, his deformed makeup. We did that. K&B briefly in the movie, you know. But
yeah.
Okay. What about Dances with Wolves?
Yeah,
Mechanical Buffalo.
That was our first big show of. Okay, well, it was about the time we were doing like Misery and some other things, but prior to that, we were kind of known as the Gorg. You know, we were doing the low budget sequels to all the movies we grew up on, like, you know, Chainsaw and Friday the 13th and those kind of movies, you know, and Michael Myers, that kind of. So we were kind of known as the gore guys and whatever at that time. And then we did a movie called Gross Anatomy, which was a Disney movie that Deborah Hill produced from Halloween. And that's how we connected with John Carpenter. That's how we connected to, we did Deborah's Monsters episode. But that segued kind of the bodies we made for that movie, which was, it was like a PG-13 Disney movie, but about medical students in school. So we had all these anatomically correct dissected bodies to do for the show. And that kind of got us into that's what got us
an intention getter.
Well, when we met with Kevin Costner for Dances with Wolves, he looked at that work and went, wow, if you can do these anatomically correct bodies, I'm assuming you can do dead buffalo for us, you know? And we're like, yeah, sure, you know? and so that's what led to that. And we ended up doing, you know, all the skinned buffaloes and
there's a lot of
the unskinned buffaloes, which were the same buffaloes.
Yeah.
We literally made suits for them that snapped on and peeled off. So we had the skin version underneath and then the fur version that went over top.
Nice.
And then we had the mechanical ones, you know, like the one that skids up to the little boy, which is literally a wheelbarrow version that, you know, slides up into him. And then we had the one we were throwing we had ones that were throwing them off of jointed ones. We just throw them off the back of a pickup truck and then they would film them like hitting the ground. And that was like, you know, the shots of them crashing, you know, it was crazy. Kind of guerrilla filmmaking at the same time.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big budget movie. You know, Dances with Wolves, I think, was like in the $20 million range.
What?
At
really?
that point, yeah.
Wow.
And it's an epic movie, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Okay. What about Simple Plan? Raimi's
yeah. Yeah, so we had worked with Sam for years. And Sam was in this transitional period at that point. He was producing Xena and Hercules and stuff, but he kind of took a break. He was from directing, and he wanted to do something more serious because he was being, you know, kind of, I guess, pigeonholed as the horror guy.
Yeah.
So it took him a while to find that movie, but when he did find it, it was a perfect fit. And we didn't have much in that. We did like the crow picking the guys. We had mechanical crows and picking the guy's eyeball out and various things like that. So it was a fairly simple movie. I had fun going to set on that though, mainly because I enjoyed hanging out with Bill Paxton. So I won't go into detail. But
he can't tell those stories.
But
I'll wait for the biography.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. The lawsuits have settled.
But no, it's a good time. Anytime I can do a movie with Sam Raimi, it's amazing because just watching how he works, and it's on big and small movies. He's just like a kid that is enjoying every minute of making the movie he's making. You know what I mean? And so you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Was he always wearing the suit, or was that something else he did?
No, that came when he started working in the studio system, I think. So the suit and the tie, yeah.
Yeah. What about the Hulk?
Oh God.
Oh wow. Okay.
You don't have to.
Can we move on? No.
I'll give you a quickie on that.
Okay.
We did stuff. Most of that movie was digital CGI. We had certain things that we made, a lot of it referenced, but some quick things like the dog, insert heads of the dog attacking, whatever. But we did the opening credit sequence with the what do you call them? The sea urchins and the starfish, where they're cutting them up and creating the shit. So that was really interesting to do because we had to go research that and go to the sea aquarium, the aquarium in Santa Monica.
That's cool.
And stuff to see what that looked like and what they did. But I'll say this. It's one of those shows where it's like when you're on you go from a small movie, like say Army of Darkness, where you're shooting 14 hours a day and you're busy all the time.
Okay.
To shooting the Hulk, where you go and you sit for 14 hours a day and you don't do shit, and you do, maybe 5 minutes of work. And so I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, it's like literally it seemed like they just wasted so much time on this big movie. It's like they should have got so much. I don't know.
Skip.
We'll just skip it. But that was one of those movies where, anyway.
Yeah. So you mentioned Misery earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Misery was amazing. We got to do, James Caan's broken legs, plus his leg appliances, plus
everyone remembers that.
Kathy Bates's face getting smashed and stuff with the typewriter and everything. And okay, so that's another one for K&B at that time, where we were no longer working for low budget. It wasn't a low budget horror film sequel. It was a big budget studio movie with an A-list director, so it was a big stepping stone for the company at the time. So
yeah, I thought so. What about The Green Mile then?
Oh, we were just talking about that.
The electrocution thing, yeah. So that was really impressive especially at the studio, when I saw the guys doing the tests on it, our mechanical department, because it was a full puppet. When he got electrocuted, it was a full cable puppet that shook around, and then the pyro guys. I don't know. Did you see John Carpenter's Vampires?
Yes.
So very similar stuff. When the fire erupted, when they get pulled into the sunlight.
Oh yeah.
It's very similar. We had the same stuff going on in that, where it would ignite and colored flames would shoot out and whatever. But anyway, I mean, we did that. And we did the mouse, and then Howard did some great makeups on I forget the actress who had cancer. Very famous actress.
Yes.
I'm just blanking on
the
it
wife.
Right now. Yeah, the wife.
The wife.
No, it wasn't his wife. It was the warden's
wife, isn't it?
It's the warden's wife that was ill. That's right. That's right.
Very, very famous actress, and I can't remember her name right now. I'm blanking, but Howard did, her cancer makeup looks.
That's good.
And so, and then we did the two little dead kids when they find coffee with the two kids in the woods.
That's gonna be dark.
So another one where it's just, we didn't have to do. It's not like a monster movie where everybody remembers what you did with it, but it's very simple effects that are memorable.
Made the movie
but
amazing.
Yeah,
I love
it. They have to look good, otherwise people won't buy it. So, what about Men in Black?
Oh my God, that was Rick Baker's movie. Rick had hired a couple of companies. He had such a big workload that he hired various companies to pick up a couple of the characters.
Okay.
Outside of that, and we ended up doing the controllers with the eyeballs with the fingers that would, we did those. And but and that, when I say we, that was K&B effect.
Yes,
so,
a lot of people, isn't it? So is it Patricia Clarkson
Yeah, that's who that was. Yes. Yeah, very.
Thank you, Jeff.
Amazing actress.
Thanks for putting that in there.
Sorry.
Gold member.
Yeah, KB, we did Fat Bastard. So
I know you go from this. I just realized that
actually,
this weekend
we did a bunch of stuff on that, but
I realized this weekend, obviously story by Robert Kurtzman, but From Dusk Till Dawn, 1, 2, and 3, Scream 1, 2, and 3, and Spy Kids 1, 2, and 3.
I did see Spy
Which
Kids.
I'm like, those are weird combos. Those are different, really different films. Yeah. But I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Gold member KMB, we did all we didn't apply everything because we did the work for other the makeup department heads.
Okay.
But we did do Fat Bastard, and Howard handled Fat Bastard on set. And then we did do, Mike Myers Gold member look. We created all the prosthetics basically for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he did Dr. Evil, Fat Bastard, him, Spike, Austin Powers. I'm trying to, it's just the three of them, wasn't it? But yeah, okay. Let's Bad Boys 2.
Bodies.
Yeah, we did the bodies that fall out of the morgue vehicle, and then
in the
morgue when they hide under the sheets, and then the skull cap falls off, all that shit. That was pretty much it. That was bodies on that, but we spent a few weeks down there shooting all that stunt work with the bodies coming out of the back of the van and falling out of the street and getting the head rolled over with the car and all that shit. So it was miserably hot, but yeah.
It does look hot film. I know.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, but I love that movie. So
yeah. Because do you reuse bodies all the time from different places?
Yeah. I mean, for that movie, we did a couple of specific bodies, especially the ones with the hair punched in and the skull cap, the ones in the morgue. The other ones falling out of the van, we had like some generic stuff that we put together for that. But anyway, as you do.
Yeah. Well, I got Stephen Hopkins on next week from Dreamchild.
I'm at 5. Let's see, 3, 5, A New Nightmare.
Is this the one where you did the twisty heads out?
The TV?
No.
It's not the TV one.
Is this the one where he twists out of the girl and she breaks out of his body on?
Now you're asking. Someone's gonna tell me.
Yeah, I don't know. I get confused with nightmare movies because
3,
they all blend together.
3, 5, A New Nightmare.
When you watch them all again,
yeah.
Because let's have a look. Roger Rambaz asked, were you involved in the redesign of Michael Myers' mask in Halloween 5?
Unfortunately, yes. Did you notice how it looks on the cover?
Yes.
Yeah, that looks like Michael Myers. And then when you see the movie, he's got a big fucking stupid nose and whatever. No, I sculpted I was so excited because I sculpted the mask for that. And then the director asked us to glue to change the nose and glue a nose to it. So then after that, I didn't even want to ever put it on my resume, but whatever. Anyway.
Oh yes, you just point out you've worked with Mike Myers and Michael Myers, so you're quite lucky with that, mind.
Yeah, both. It's like it's like Baby Driver when they get a Mike Myers mask when they rob the bank, and then he shows up with Mike Myers. Not that Mike Myers.
Yeah, that's funny. I forget about that.
Yeah.
We love Baby Driver. So.
It's got a great soundtrack as well.
Kicks.
But Night of the Creeps is one of my favorites. One of your early jobs. You also had a small part in it as well. Yeah.
He was a beta zombie.
Beta zombie, yeah.
The one that after the bus crashes to the side, he's the one that comes out of the window of the bus.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Howard did as well.
Howard was in there. Basically all the effects guys played zombies. So that was how we were able to start prep early because we didn't have to cast actors, we just cast ourselves. So we were all in our 20s, so yeah, it made sense.
Do you do each other's makeup, or do you have to do your
Pretty
own?
much, yeah. Or we did them on ourselves.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Let's have a look. Slipknot fan. What creature effects did you work on
Mouth
for
of
in the Mouth of Madness? And what do you remember most fondly?
Most about working on that movie? Like fondly.
Well, it was like, I don't know, third movie, I don't know. We with John Carpenter, which I'm a huge fan of John's and grew up a huge fan of John. So we got to work with him. I think first was Body Bags, and then we did, I don't know what we did after that.
Vampires?
No, I think Vampires came after Mouth of Madness, but I'm not sure.
Body Bags, yeah.
Yeah. And but I think what I loved about that was it was like this weird Lovecraft movie that wasn't written by Lovecraft.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually written by Mike DeLuca, who runs Warner Brothers right now. So that he wrote that when he was at New Line. He was just a young producer at New Line. So, but it just, I think Carpenter touches on all the Lovecraft stuff kind of perfectly with that movie, and it was a chance for us to do a bunch of crazy, weird shit. Although we did it on a budget, you know, it's still a movie that we had to do on a budget. But I think it still holds up, and it's really cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was it like the old lady that's on the
old lady? I love the or the old man. Well, the old man. The kid old man. I love the upside down head girl that we did. You know, with which was kind of a twist on. It wasn't upside down, but you remember in like Invasion of the Body Snatchers with the dog with the face on it. Yeah, it was kind of like, oh, let's turn that upside down, and you know, and so there's a whole ton of shit in that. Some of it's, you know, we did so much stuff in it, but then it's barely in there, some of it. So
I did hear there was a lot cut out before it was released, wasn't there? Which is unfortunate.
I love the Slipknot fan.
Yeah,
Bob's worked with Corey before from Slipknot. On a little film.
Larry wants to know if you're a fan of trauma films and if you have a favorite.
Oh, of course. I can't wait for the new Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, that's another.
Peter Dinklage. Yeah, I've seen some photos. Anymore though, I'm kind of don't know if the photos are real or if the photos are bullshit that they put out there, you know, ahead of the movie coming out. So, but I think, I mean, of course, street trash. Nothing beats the phallic thing flying through the air and whatever. And, I mean, come on. So no, I love. Oh, and I love Night of the Chicken Dead. What is it? You know what I'm talking about? I love that musical.
I'm trying to think.
The Poultry Guys. Night of the Chicken Dead. I love that movie. So it's street trash.
Oh,
awesome.
Nice.
So
ban this sick film. Yes. Predator. Did you do you're credited on Predator? Did you actually do anything?
Yeah. I worked for Stan Winston on that film, and it was one of my first films. We did several films at the same time. We did Predator, and we did Aliens at the same time, which I didn't get credit on. And then Invaders from Mars.
Yeah.
So, and no, it's great. I met a lot of people there, learned a lot of stuff. I was young when I started there, and it was my first few years in the business. So,
did you work with the Van Damme puppet and then?
No. That
after. Oh, because Stan came in after, didn't he? With the
that was fine. That was at Boss Films. Will Steve Johnson, Boss Films, was handling all that stuff, and after they shot, they decided they didn't like the monster, and they reshot and hired Stan to redo it, and went back to Mexico and reshot all the action scenes with the monster. So the new monster.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Let's have a look. You said you're Aliens. Did you come to the UK for Aliens, or did you?
I did not, and that's one of the reasons. First off, I was new in the studio. I was a mold maker. The people that got credit on Aliens were the ones that did more work on Aliens, and mainly the crew that went to London, to UK to shoot. So I did not. I was a mold man on the film, and so
yeah, no worries. The Hidden, because Jack Shoulder went on to do Wishmaster 2 instead of you.
The Hidden. I did that film with Kevin Yeager.
Okay.
And I was working at his studio at the time, and that was a fun movie to work on. I really like that movie to this day. The little sluggy alien was challenging at that time because we made it out of hot melt vinyl, which is basically what they make worms out of. Or if you remember back in the 70s or 80s or 70s, it was this little thing called creepy crawlers that you had little hot irons and you poured this stuff into, and you made your little spiders and stuff out of it.
Made little rubber
spiders and stuff. It was like
centipedes and spiders and worms. And
I remembered smelling this stuff, and then I got to Kevin's shop and we were working on this thing, and I was like, why does it smell so familiar? And he goes, oh, because it's that same shit we made creepy crawlers out of. And I'm like, yeah, but you're telling me now to wear a mask and cover up because it's toxic as shit.
Yeah.
And they were every kid on his back porch was making this when we were kids.
Yeah. We did it outside. We did it inside. We did it in my mom's kitchen, my brother and I.
It was toxic and like,
but once you smell that, you never forget the smell.
Never.
It's really distinctive. Then after that, they actually switched it to Incredible Edibles.
Yeah, they made it gelatin.
They made it gelatin, and there was no smell, and it didn't taste like anything. But we all made them and ate them anyway.
But no. So that was fun. We did a lot of cool gags on it, but that was
to look at that.
That was Kevin's show. I was basically an assistant for him. And
it's called The Hidden.
The Hidden is great.
I'll have to look at it.
Movie.
Okay.
Tom McLaughlin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't watch the sequel if you haven't. Bless him. Larry sent $20 for a chat. Thanks for having Robert on. My friend worked at Troma for years, producing and doing FX, even played Kabuki Man in an alternative medial. He sadly passed away last year, so shout out to Doug Sackman. I'm sure he was a fan of yours. Yes,
that's sweet.
Doug Sackman.
Thanks, Larry.
Cheers.
Thanks for saying that. That's sweet.
Thanks, Larry. That's very kind of you. Right, where do we get to? Sibling Rivalry from 1990.
Funny.
He's like saying things again. There are things that
like, what?
I don't know. He's done.
This was another show. I believe it was Castle Rock, right? Yeah.
Yes, I think it is. Yes.
So we did Misery for Castle Rock. We did City Slickers for Castle Rock, and then we did Sibling Rivalry with Castle Rock, and we had to do fake heads, and we had to do a fake head of Sam Elliott, who passes away in it, and he's displayed.
I'll definitely watch
thing and. But that's what's
Sam,
funny. So that's the first time I met Sam.
Yeah.
And then Sam called us to do a broken limb for White Earp.
Right.
Or one of them.
What
White Earp? Which one's he in? White Earp or Tombstone?
Or White Earp?
Is he in White Earp or Tombstone?
Yeah.
I am trying to think now. I think it's
Tombstone.
One of those two.
Tombstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
So he had come by the studio several times. So then I'm making I'm thinking of Dust Till Dawn at this point. I have the script.
Right.
So I gave the script for Dust Till Dawn to him and asked him if he would consider looking at playing Earl McGraw in the opening, which was a Michael Parks role, right?
Right.
Eventually. And a few weeks later, he gets back to me and he's like, this isn't the movie for me. And I went, okay. I'm sure I know why. Yeah, he was like, man, sorry, man, I'm gonna have to pass. This is a movie for me. But
that's so
anyway,
sweet.
but I thought of like that kind of guy in the role. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
that voice.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, Michael was amazing. Though.
Yeah, Michael's amazing.
Yeah,
but,
he's good in everything.
He is. Bless him. He's gone as well. Jeremy's asking which one creature would you never want to work on again?
Never want to work on again.
Yeah, what's caused
The most grief a monster you
That's
made,
the
or
one
a
creature I would
You
never
would
wanna
never
work
want to
on
do
again.
again. Yeah.
I don't think there is
perfect.
one. I think
yeah.
depends on what it is. I mean,
Bride from a Reanimator took 8 hours, but I think you all would approach
No,
it. We'd approach it differently now.
yeah,
I don't think it would take 8
yeah,
hours
I don't,
now.
yeah, but I don't think it's
Yeah.
that reason. I just think I don't know. If I got the chance to revisit something, I think I could revisit it in a better way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not crazy about doing things like I don't know, doing the Michael Myers or doing another,
Okay.
you know, whatever. I would love to do another Freddy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Only if Robert did it. I wouldn't
Right.
really want to be doing it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Otherwise, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So no, I would tackle anything. I think if, you know, get a chance to be creative. So
Yeah. Is things different now because things are smaller, or they're easier to control, or cheaper to buy such things to make these models and different covers?
nothing's
plastics?
cheaper now.
Okay.
Everything's
Oh yes.
everything's expensive. Like material wise, everything's crazy expensive. But
Yeah.
I think the biggest hassle anymore is that movies are, and you know this because all the movies we made in the last 3 years have been shot in 24 days or under. And for
22
summer,
yeah.
it depends on what the budgets are, but like back in the day we would shoot like Evil Dead 2. We'd shoot an entire 3 months over a summer for $3.5 million, and now $3.5 million gets you 15 days of shooting. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
So did we do Black Friday in 15 days?
No, we did that in
20. Never
20
mind.
days.
You're right. It was over Thanksgiving. We had like a bit of a break, but yeah.
So the business has, you know, changed a little bit since then, and how they approach shit. But
let's have a look. Someone mentioned Darkman. Did you have anything to do with Darkman?
No, that was Tony Gardner's movie. At that point, I think we did some stunt masks for Darkman.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't remember. We did something, but it wasn't. It was really Tony's show.
Okay.
And we just picked up some slack on it.
All right.
So.
When you're credited as supervisor, do you actually always get involved in everything, or you just have a team out doing it? And then
you're credited as supervisor.
Oh,
yeah, not on Darkman, but on such stuff like Pulp Fiction and stuff like that. You're uncredited.
Yeah, that's because we supervise the work, and sometimes we'd be on set, and sometimes we weren't.
And it
I did
listed differently now too.
Well, yeah. Okay, so at that time, I don't think. I'm trying to think. I don't think makeup effects was part of the union at that time.
Right.
So we had like these weird different credits at the time, like supervisors or whatever. But we weren't makeup department heads like we are now.
Yeah.
Makeup effects department heads. So it's just different. And you know, sometimes I was makeup effects producer. Sometimes I'm makeup effects supervisor. And you know what I mean? So it just changed, you know.
Right. So he says, yeah, that's fair. Thank you. About that. All right. So I'll just go back to
new stuff.
Let's go back to Marshmallow for a bit while I've still got you. So what's the process? They hand you a script, or do they have a meeting about the film and say, we need so-and-so's doing for this part? Or
usually we get the script first. And one of the first things we do is I'll do it or Bob will do it. We'll break down the effects, things that are needed. And then we have a discussion with the director. How do you want to see this? How do you want to shoot it? And then of course there's the budget conversation of, well, we can shoot it this way, or this way, depending on how much money you have, how much you want to see, and how much money you have. It comes down to that a lot. And then things will get cut if it just seems like it's impossible to do on their budget. And a lot of times we just adjust it until we get it. You know, it might not be 100% what that first wish list was, but yeah.
Well, it's very simple. Like you could have for instance, somebody gets hit in the face with a baseball bat, okay? And it reads like his head is crushed, smashed with a baseball bat.
Right.
So then you're thinking, okay, dummy head, guy hits it with a baseball bat, blood spatters, whatever.
Right.
Then there's, no, we can't afford that. So how do you cheat it with
camera angles,
you know,
stunt people stepping in.
So it's like,
there's always the cheat of, here, I'm going to hit you in the face,
and shoot
but
over
I'm going
the shoulder.
to get it right here.
Yeah, you shoot over the shoulder and you have a blood spray that, or whatever, you know what I mean?
You can sell it.
Like,
yeah,
there's different ways to cheat it, and it's just, you know, you got to be open-minded about it. But
and I had to mention, just because you brought the poster back up again. So one of the greatest things that Bob gets to do is he gets to work with his son a lot. So we brought him in. He was actually cast in Black Friday as one of the characters, and then he was through stages of makeup changes and morphing.
He plays Emmett in Black Friday,
the
kid that gets really mutated.
Yeah. So then we said, hey, can you guys bring him down? You know, he's great with stunts and, you know, blah, blah, blah. So every time I see the poster now, that's Louis Kurtzman, because he came down and played stunts in that suit.
He's basically the guy stalking everyone.
And and we're not going to say who it really is or whatever, but I'm just saying, every time I see the poster now, I'm like, oh, I have tons of BTS with him in that same pose. So it's pretty cool. But and let's mention Q Lawrence. I don't know if I mentioned him. He's just such a great actor. Yes. New, but doing a lot of work and doing some really, really just really great pieces that he's been involved with, some shorts and some features. So doing really, really well.
Excellent. So you're always at the cons meeting the fans. Which one's coming up in next month or this month?
The next ones, there's a huge, not a huge, but there's a series that GalaxyCon does. They do Nightmare Weekends. And so we'll be in Chicago, Savannah, Cleveland, and I remembered it before. Now I don't remember it. But GalaxyCon Nightmare Weekend anyway. And then a few others scattered in there. Was hoping to get to Manchester. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but fingers crossed, maybe. Anyway,
depend if work comes in,
and
always with that.
Yeah.
So which kind of sucks because you book stuff and then if something comes in, you got to cancel. I think
in 10 years that I've been working with Bob, I think twice in 10 years he's canceled. Because we're usually really good about knowing what's coming, even if it's just an inkling. And so he hasn't had to cancel a whole lot, which is good.
So no one phones up saying, quick, I need someone turned inside out on film, quick. By tomorrow.
Right.
Slipknot fans back. Is there a movie you worked on that wasn't very successful, but you just felt it deserved a lot better at the box office?
There's a ton of those.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many that have garnered, cult status years later that weren't successful when they came out, So I mean, Army of Darkness is a perfect one, and so there's dozens of those, So
and honestly, one of my personal favorites is a movie we did almost 10 years ago. It's called The Funhouse Massacre, and it's a horror comedy.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I am sorry, it gets missed because it is so funny and there's so much blood. In fact, speaking of Louis Kurtzman, he gets his head pulled off in it. Spoiler, I don't care because it's really freaking
that's
funny.
Enticing enough as it is, so yes.
I know it sounds weird. He gets his head pulled off and it's so funny, but it is.
But there's a lot of those, like John dies at the end.
Oh my gosh,
and Tusk and
how about Bubba Hotep? Yeah,
there are all those
Hotep,
movies that weren't usually successful. Yeah. And when they came out,
Bubba Hotep's incredible.
Have a big following. So
I lost my Wishmaster, but you had a lot of people in Wishmaster cameoing for you, like
Wishmaster.
Wishmaster cameos.
Robert Englund.
Friends,
Tony Todd.
Tony Todd.
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder. That's what I'm
Reggie Bannister, Angus
Yes.
Grimm, Ted Raimi.
Yes.
Did we say Robert Englund?
Yeah, Robert
Yeah.
Englund.
Robert Englund. Yeah.
Were you just like calling in favors, or was it just?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
One person not in there, and everyone thinks he's in there.
Yeah, Tom Savini's
Tom
not in there.
Savini is not in the movie. Spread the
It's a
word.
guy that looks like him, and everybody's like, Tom Savini's in the movie.
He's not. He's not in the
Tom's gonna
movie.
be upset because people he got tired of telling people, so
He
they
started
brought him
writing.
posters
He
and
started
signed them.
signing. 'Cause he's like, they're just
So,
they constantly. He's not in the credit list either. Like
yeah,
he's not in
but that
there.
happens like Bruce Campbell's in Demolitionist, but he's uncredited.
Oh, true.
So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so
True.
but anyway.
So.
Yes. Why is it pink red dust or red spray that comes
Oh,
out
and
of it?
Demolitionist?
Yeah.
Okay, weird. Okay, so part of it was that the producers had concerns about squibs at that time and blood.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, it's kind of a futuristic thing. So maybe the blood with especially with the guns or her guns,
Lasers.
but I ended up doing it elsewhere. Is that it in my head was they literally they atomize your blood into powder.
Yeah.
And they, you know,
You
it
can't
just
possibly survive if you're.
and I had seen it done well in some other shows where it was almost blood powder,
Oh, okay.
like blowing out, and I thought it was kind of cool. Anyway, tried to do that and make it work and whatever. But it was a ratings board workaround it.
That's true.
But yeah. So
no worries. So yeah, and you had to cut the big sword fight at the end. Is that true?
Yeah, I had this whole thing with Savini planned. We storyboarded it and everything, and producer came to me and he's like, "There's no way we're gonna make our days if we don't cut this scene." And I'm like, "Okay." So I had to come up with that quick ending with them shooting Tom and you know, her injecting him with the serum and him melting down, which was always planned, but we had the fight, you know, in between that. Yeah. So, you know, whatever.
Yes. Larry says, yeah, you can't survive if you're powder. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll take one more question on and I'll let you go as we're coming up to the hour. So there we go. Spawn must have been a mammoth undertaking with all the makeup and animatronic effects. What was it like? Did Mark A.Z. Dip start out in special effects before directing that?
Yeah, Mark DePay was one of the him and Steve Smaz Williams, who also worked on it, were one of the two guys that developed the whole digital animation dinosaurs for Jurassic Park. They're the ones who they broke that whole thing out. And after that, they were kind of the hot guys, visual effects guys. So they did Spawn together. Mark directed it, and as far as the work we did on it, yeah, there was a ton of great work. The biggest thing that was the Violator was kind of the biggest undertaking we took on it, because that was a huge animatronic, computer controlled, what we call slave controlled animatronic puppet, and it was all hydraulic, and it was on its own rig with it. You had to wheel it on set. It weighed probably 1,500 pounds, and it was pretty impressive though. That was my favorite thing on that show. And the makeups are cool, and I love clown and whatever, but that was my favorite thing. Watching that thing move around was like really cool.
Yeah. Lovely, thank you. So yes, go back to Marshmallow. So yes, Marshmallow is out in cinemas. Was it April 11th? We said in the US, and then
yes,
streaming in May. So I'll update people when they can see it, and I recommend it. So without further ado, we'll say thank you to Robert and Marcy. Oh, sorry, Mad Dog and Marcy. Is it?
What's that?
Mad
Is
Dog?
it Mad Dog? Is your nickname?
That was
that was
nickname.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Calm down since then. Cool.
Yeah.
I think so. I think he's probably a mad puppy now sometimes, but not really the dog. Yeah.
The koala.
Grumpy koala.
All right. No worries. So thanks to you two for doing this, and we'll say goodbye and let you get back to work.
Great. Thank you.
All right. You take care, and I'll say goodbye to everyone. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for being here.
Thanks, everybody.
So, yes, they're all saying bye-bye. There we go. Thank you, everyone.
Roger Rambo.